Hi, I've been a healing coach for 10 plus years now, and every time a client comes to me, I've realized they all have some kind of avoidant tendencies going on in their relationships. It was either their partner or them. They all struggled with similar patterns. Now, relationships, which is one of the main areas my neurotransformation therapy program covers, and during the program, a lot of my clients would come up to me and say, yeah, my relationship was going great until all of a sudden my partner started acting cold. Their partners were giving them the silent treatment, and this caused them to not feel valued in their relationships. They felt like they were being punished for loving the avoidant partner, and they couldn't just call their partner out on their behavior because they thought it was bad for expressing their feelings. And when they did tell their partner how they felt, they were called controlling, too sensitive, or just selfish. And they were like, I'm fine when there's a distance between us, but I don't know how to react when they're getting too close. They said they felt attacked when their partner came too close. This is what they felt during the healing part of the program. By the way, if you're interested in transforming your life, healing your inner issues, and learning how to transform others, and you want to start your own journey as a life coach while making $10,000 per month, then use the link below to hop on a call with me. The problem with avoidance is they are so scared of being abandoned that they create their own abandonment. And growing up, you never thought about dealing with any of these attachment styles. So people only find this out when the relationship is in trouble or after it has ended. They wonder why their partner is like this, and it's only after it's too late do they realize, wait, I was in love with an avoidant? So when I'm talking about avoidance, when I say avoidants are problematic, people actually think that they're doing this on purpose. And it's true, they do have a choice. But here's the thing, asking an avoidant to stop being an avoidant is like telling an alcoholic to stop drinking, or taking a dumb person and telling them to be smarter. It's in their control, but at the same time, it's not, is it? The avoidant shuts down and the partner feels alone and betrayed. If you're dating an avoidant, then your life is going to be chaotic. And not just because you're an anxious attacher, but because dating an avoidant can even turn a secure into an anxious. The level of unpredictability and inconsistency is so high when you're in love with an avoidant. You completely lose your sense of security, and you know very well that you can't feel safe with them. And until you feel safe with them, the relationship means nothing. Because for any growth to occur, first you have to feel safe with them. You will never be able to love them if you know they only care about themselves. You can't build a healthy relationship with someone who goes silent every time you try to have a conversation with them. You can't progress with someone who says it's either my way or the highway. So if you're lacking confidence in your relationship, if it feels like endless highs and lows, if you're the one that has to compromise every time in order to make them happy, if you're the one putting in all the effort, you are definitely dating someone with avoidant attachment tendencies. Now you might be wondering why you're so attracted to an avoidant partner. And if you haven't wondered about it, then you should, because like it or not, right now they are in control of your feeling. This is because your emotional state has become dependent on how they're treating you in the relationship. You are using them to outsource your emotion. You're expecting them to make you happy. And as you should, they're your partner. Are loved ones supposed to make you happy? Yes, but not in this extreme way. Your emotional state is completely anchored to how they've treated you this week. If they were caring and showed love, you're smiling. But if they act cold and don't give you their time, you'll start to feel unloved. So if you're feeling like this, you have to admit you're hooked in the avoidance love. Now, I have some clients who are very secure and in control of every area of their life, but they're terrible in relationships because they feel like they're dating an avoidant partner. They feel the harder they try, the more the avoidant slips away from them. And I also have other clients who seem to be highly avoidant, but they realize they're shutting down and they're running away. And even after they admit having this problem, they keep doing the same things over and over again. So the most important thing to realize is avoidant tendencies are a double-edged sword. Don't you get it? The avoidant wants to be with you, but they can't do it. It's like the alcoholic who says they're quitting drinking and a week later you see a bottle in their hand. So I want you to imagine right now, if your avoidant partner turned into secure, how different your relationship would be. If your relationship became healthy, how happy would you feel each day? Just close your eyes and imagine all the behaviors the avoidant would have to change. What habits would they get rid of and what new habits would they add? I want you to realize that the avoidant can change, but only if they want to. It has to be their decision. If they are willing to admit their faults, if they're willing to accept responsibility for all the damage they've caused you, only then will the avoidant actually change. It has to come from inside. You can't force them. You can try all all you want. You can pour your heart out and have those long conversations. You can bend over backwards to meet their needs. But here's the truth. If they can't see the problem in themselves, if they don't recognize their avoidance tendencies are destroying the relationship, nothing will change. You will keep running into the same walls over and over again. And it's not because you're not good enough or doing something wrong. It's because they are trapped in their own fear of vulnerability. And you're left outside knocking on a door that you don't want to open. And that's the hardest part, isn't it? You want to fix it. You want to break through to them and show them that love doesn't have to be a battlefield. That trust is something that can be built, not feared. But every time you get close, they retreat. It's a cycle. You get close, they pull away. You try harder, they pull away more. Eventually, this leaves you exhausted. You're left wondering if love is supposed to be this hard. But it's not supposed to be. Love is not about managing control or managing distance. It's about acceptance and trust. But someone with avoidance tendencies, love feels like a threat. It's not that they don't love you, it's just that they don't know how to express it in a way that's healthy. They're fighting their own demons, afraid of being hurt and losing control. So they distance themselves, thinking that's the only way they're going to protect themselves. And it's ironic, isn't it? The very thing they fear, abandonment, is the very thing they create with their actions. So if you're in this situation, I want you to take a step back and ask yourself, is this what you want? Do you want to keep chasing someone who's afraid to be caught? Do you want to keep trying to fix something that isn't yours to fix? Because at the end of the day, you deserve a relationship where you are valued, where your emotions are validated, where you're heard, and love isn't a guessing game. And if they're not willing to take that step toward healing, you will have to take the step for yourself. Now, this doesn't mean that there's no hope. People can change. They can learn to trust and to open up. But like I've said before, it has to be their choice. They have to recognize they're the problem. It's a slow process, but it's possible. I've seen it happen with my clients. But the key is the avoidant has to want it. So if you're with an avoidant, here's my no bullshit advice. Set boundaries, protect your emotional health, but be supportive, be loving to them. You don't have to sacrifice your happiness to accommodate to their fear. They need to show it with actions, not just words. If they'll make the effort to meet you halfway, if they can create a space where you feel loved, then it is possible. But if they continue to do the same thing, using distance and shutting down, then you have to ask yourself, how long are you willing to wait for them to change? Because at the end of the day, if they're not prepared to change themselves, then you have to be prepared to walk away. And that's the most powerful decision you can make. You're not abandoning them, you're just refusing to abandon yourself in the process. And that's not something nobody should have to do, not for anyone. So take a deep breath and look at your relationship for what it truly is. And ask yourself, is this worth it? Is it what I want? If the answer is no, then it's time to let go and start healing.